Hey everybody, it's time to talk about some books that are coming out in the month of May, or are already out, but they're coming out this month, and it is a small but powerful stack, and I cannot wait to tell you all about it. So let's get started. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you guys doing? I hope you are all doing very, very well. I have taken today off. I have decided to not work today, and I have just been lazy reading my book. I got up late. Dan made me an amazing chocolate chip pancake, which was fantastic, and I have just been really enjoying a very lazy, relaxing day. That being said, it is like 90-something degrees outside. It is so hot, so hence the tank top, because when we walk the dogs, it's like sweltering outside. I don't think it's going to stay this way, but it is definitely warm today. So this is usually one of my favorite videos, and this is no different than that. The stack that I have is pretty short. However, I will say, you know, with everything that's going on in the world, publishers in New York, California, across the United States are all work from home right now. So it is very difficult for them to ship books right now. So I'm not getting as many books in the mail. So that means I have to sort of transition how I do these videos, and that's going to take me a little bit of time. I'm going to have to go to a more electronic format, getting the books put up in the pictures and all that kind of stuff, and keeping lists. And that is going to take me a little bit of time because that's not my normal mode of how I do this. But I am working on it. This has also turned me into a person that needs to transition into reading electronically as well, because I don't read electronically in nature. Now I've started to. I've read a couple of books electronically this month, and I'm trying to get myself into that sort of mode of how to do it. But it is going to take me a little time. It's not my natural reading mode. But I am working on it, so I just want to let you guys know. So there are a lot of books that are coming out in May, a lot of things that are fantastic. I'm going to do a huge order very soon to get a lot of these books sent to me. But this is a short but powerful stack. I've read one, I'm in the middle of another, I've started another, so I know that there's a lot of really good stuff in my little stack here. So get ready, get out your pen, get out your paper, get out your Goodreads, get however you take care of your TBR ready for this. As always, if you're so able, please, now's the time to order these books from your local independent bookstores. And if you are a library user, I hear they are still lending out books electronically across the board, so you can get them for yourself electronically now. So let's get started. We're gonna start with a book that I've actually already read, raved about, and utterly loved on my channel, and that is The Jane Austen Society by Natalie Jenner. This book is out from St. Martin's Press, and it is just lovely. So you know how every year I usually talk about a book that I feel like is a little bit of a hug for your heart? Okay. I feel like this is the month where a lot of those books come out, and I absolutely wind up adoring them. And the first, I think, 3 books I'm going to talk about feel just like perfect summer reads to me. And the Jane Austen Society is exactly that. Set around the end of the Second World War, so around 1945 moving forward. This is about a group of people that live in a small town in England where Jane Austen's family resides, and they all come together for a love of Jane Austen from many different angles. We have the local doctor, we have a local school teacher who's sort of ousted for her revolutionary ideas. We have a sort of a handyman who meets a mysterious woman on the road who talks to him about Jane Austen. He goes home, picks up a book, never read anything by her before, falls in love, and winds up reading her books, all of them every year, over and over and over again. So this is a book about people that love books. So if that is a thing for you, it's a thing for me. You'll love this book. But it is also about a group of people that come together to protect the legacy of one of our literary icons. Now, I think that is very, very charming and sweet. Now, they go through ups and downs. There's relationship issues. There's issues in the town. There's an American starlet that comes over and she gets involved. And there's just a lot of really charming people. And it's just a book about loving people, loving books, loving Jane Austen, and it just charms its way into your heart, if that makes any sense. It's a good, solid story. You know me, I don't need a lot of plot, so it's very sort of straightforward in that, but it's really about the people. And what Natalie Jenner does is she just makes you care about a whole group of people. Now, she has said that this is not based on like a real group that came together. The town is real, the place is real, but these are people that she made up in her own mind, and she does a fantastic job of it. And I absolutely loved it. I'm so happy that Jane Austen is getting sort of a reoccurrence this year, and this is a great place to start. So this was actually Amazon's debut novel of the year. I've actually ordered the audiobook as well, because I hear the audiobook is really good for this one as well. So I'm recommending it from all angles. So that's the Jane Austen Society by Natalie Jenner, out from St. Martin's Press. Please get your hands on it. You will not be disappointed. Next is the book that I'm currently reading. I started it this morning. It came out this week, and it is also my Book of the Month Club pick, and that is Emily Straub's All Adults Here, out from Riverhead Books. I am loving this book so far. I'm just flying through it. So this is a story. This is a family story about a family in sort of a northeastern town, and they all come together into this little tiny town. So we have the matriarch who lives there. Her husband died many years ago, and in the very first chapter, she witnesses a woman that she knows in town get hit by a bus and die. And it sort of changes how she wants to move forward with life. No more hiding, no more secrets. She's going to sort of tell everybody what's going on. Currently, her young granddaughter is coming to live with her due to something that occurred at her school. So you have the granddaughter coming to town, and then she has 3 children that also live locally, and one is sending their daughter to her. And what happens is we learn about this family. They're all dealing with different things in it, and we learn about how they communicate and how they're going to sort of communicate moving forward. It is charming. The people are fantastic. The writing is great. The story is lovely. I'm sure it's going to have a lot of ups and downs. I'm only like 100 pages in, but it's just one of those books where you just fall into it. You fall into the family, you fall into the characters, and you want to know what's going to happen. And I'm adoring it. I'm absolutely adoring it. And so that's Emma Straub's All Adults Here, out from Riverhead Books. Now, everyone knows Emma Straub for her many novels, and also the owner of Books Are Magic bookstore, which I love in Brooklyn. Went there last time I was in New York and could have stayed there all day long. Okay, the next book actually fits very much in this same vein. It's like these books about families that just seem to have a perfect feel for a book that you want to read in the summer. I would say like go to the pool and read it, but don't go to the pool right now until it's safe to do so. But if you're going to sit out in the sun, these are sort of the books that I would recommend reading. And the next is The Imperfects by Amy Meyerson, out from Park Row Books. This is a story of an estranged family, so some estranged siblings that haven't gotten together in years, who come together because the matriarch, the grandmother, has passed away. And as they're in her house and they're dealing with her passing, they find this 137 carat yellow diamond from the Austrian Empire. And they have no idea where this came from, why their grandmother has it, how long it's been in her possession. And it turns into sort of this investigation into who is their grandmother, how did she get this, but also their family history. And, you know, sometimes I think that as young people, we take our family histories for granted. We don't really know enough about our grandparents. And sometimes when we finally do get interested, it's sometimes too late. So this book sort of speaks to that part for me, but also it's going to be about those siblings coming back together, reconnecting. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of sibling fights, which I love. I love that stuff. And I'm super excited about The Imperfects by Amy Meyerson, out now from Park Row Books. And don't all of those feel very summery vibes? I just think they do. I think they do. The next book I want to tell you about is by an author that I've actually interviewed on my channel before for her last book, Winter Kept Us Warm, which was a World War II saga. And that is Only the River by Raeff. And this book is her new novel, out now from Counterpoint Press. Now, what Anne does phenomenally is, if you ever meet her or ever hear her speak, she's a world traveler. She's lived so many places in her life. And currently her and her wife live in Berkeley, and they are absolutely lovely people. And this book is no different than her last book, is she takes us around the world. This is the story of Peppa. Peppa is a young girl with her family. They live in Austria, and they are forced to leave, and they wind up in Nicaragua. I'm having a real hard time saying Nicaragua today. I'm just letting you guys know. So I don't know. It's a country that I'm having difficulty pronouncing on this Friday afternoon. But what happens here is that they wind up in Nicaragua, and her father is trying to help people survive the yellow fever. They're sort of settling down. Peppa becomes good friends with a young boy named Guillermo, and their life is sort of headed in one direction when everything changes, and her family winds up having to move to New York. And so all of the ties that they have been shattered. Now, what happens later is that Guillermo has a child and Peppa has a child, and they're brought together in the fact that they join the revolution in Nicaragua. What is it? They both become engulfed in the revolutionary fever as the Sandinista movement vies for the nation's soul. And so Guillermo's daughter and Peppa's son come together, and decades later, these families will reconnect in a different way. Anne has a way of bringing all of those pieces together beautifully in her writing, and she can also create place and time like that. So I'm really excited to read this. I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit darker than the other books that I'm talking about, but she just has a way of telling a fantastic story. So that is Only the River by Anne Raeff, out now from Counterpoint Press. You can get your hands on it. I do think this cover just lulls me into a sense of security because I think it's a beautiful cover, but I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of ups and downs in this book. Okay. Next, so the second to last is a fantasy novel, and I'm so obsessed with the author of this book, and that is Emily B. Martin's Sunshield. She is the author of another novel called Woodwalker. This is out from Harper Voyager. Now, Emily is a park ranger by day, and so I'm so obsessed with her and like how that is going to influence the novel. Now, this is a fantasy novel. You know, they tend to have a little bit more complication to their storyline, so I'm going to read a bit of this one for you. So the desolate canyons of Alcoro and the people desperate enough to hide there couldn't be more different from the opulent glass palace and lush forests of Mokwai. But the harsh desert and gleaming court are linked through their past, present, and future. A history of abductions in the desert to power Mokwai's quarries and factories, and a bleak, inhumane future built on the sweat and sacrifice of those bond laborers. But events unfolding in the present could change everything. In the desert, Outlaw Lark, known to most as the Sunshield Bandit, has built a name for herself, attacking slaver wagons and freeing the captives inside. But while she shakes the foundation of Mokwai's stratified society, she also has to fight to protect her rescuees and herself from the unforgiving world around them. In the Mokwaian court, a young ambassador, Varen, hopes to finally make his mark by dismantling the unjust labor system if he can navigate the strict hierarchy and inexplicable hostility of the prince. And caught in the middle of all that, Tasman is trapped within four walls, the epicenter of a secret political coup to overthrow the Mohican monarchy and perpetuate the age-old system of injustice. So, all of that sounds awesome, and I'm really excited about this, and I'm also just fascinated with Emily. So that is Sunshield by Emily P. Martin, and that looks great, out from Harper Voyager. Last but not least is the book that I said I've started. I'm taking it really slow, and I'll tell you why, and that is Alligators and Other Stories by Dima Alzayat. I am sorry, Dima. I know I'm saying your name wrong. She was born in Syria, but she grew up here in San Jose, where I'm from. So automatic affinity to her. Now, this is a collection of short stories, and what Dima does is she plays with form and structure in a lot of ways. So her stories don't always go in sort of what you expect. I'm trying to see if I can show you one. So like there'd be like these poetic breaks or stuff like that. Or if you see this story is sort of told in this, it's sort of like this weird indentation. And when I read her stuff, it allows me to sort of dive in and pull pieces apart. So it is definitely one of those books for people who want short stories to challenge them, not only in content, but also structure. She's very, very smart, and it's just really cool, and it's really good. Oh, I should say that this is out from $2 Radio, which I have a couple of books that I've read by them, and I really like this small independent press. They put out some really good stuff. So if you are looking for a new short story collection, something to sort of be off the beaten path, but you want it to be fantastic, let me recommend Alligator and Other Stories by Dima Alzayat. And this is out at the end of May, on May 29th. You guys can get your hands on it. And yeah, I'm totally obsessed with her because she's a local like that. So this is a small stack, but I hope all of these books sounded fantastic to you, because I can already tell you, I've read one, almost done with another, and partway into another one of them, and they are all speaking to me. So I hope they are all speaking to you. As always, if you are a return subscriber, thank you so very, very much. If you are new to my channel, I hope you like what you saw, you subscribe, and you stay around for more. As always, I encourage you to shop locally, read globally, and until next time, I wish you happy reading. Bye.